Now it's your senior year. Your junior year, as you mentioned to us, you was starting free safety, you lost your position, and you ended up playing special teams. Now, what is your focus now as a senior?
My senior year, I wasn't going to let anything distract me. I was coming in just extremely focused. I did my due diligence during the off season because I wanted to make sure that this was going to be, my best year because I hadn't had a junior year. So the way I looked at it, and I worked out during the off season, did what I was supposed to do, and just kind of went into my own little closet. I cut off the girls and everything like that. I wasn't tripping about being in a relationship or anything like that because I knew that I was moving forward. And, I had some opportunities and, to meet some nice, people and all that kind of stuff. But I just decided like, hey, enough's enough. This isn't going to get me to where I need to get to. So I'm going to focus on what I want to do. So now coming in, I had a whole new outlook on myself. I was way more confident than what I was last year. And it was just, me sowing the ideas, sowing the thought patterns, sowing the right words in myself, to say, hey, all right, I'm better. I'm a whole lot better. I'm not that person. It was about, believing, in what I had and who I was. So I went forward with that. And I mean, for the most part, to be on a 2-7 team, I was pretty successful. I had 3 picks, I had 2 touchdowns, rushed for a few yards, had my fair share of tackles and playing free safety and stuff like that. So it was better than what I was last year. So granted, we were 2-7. We did have the #1 defense. I will say that because we lost games by like 1 point, 7 points. We didn't give up that many points. We had scores like 14-6, 7-0, 7-6, stuff like that. And like I said, I think the largest loss we probably had was a 21-7 loss, and that last touchdown that they got was like at the end because it was a Hail Mary throw, and the guy picked it off, ran all the way back. But we did some decent stuff.
Give me your mind state as an athlete, playing for a team that don't have a lot of success as far as wins and losses. What did it do for your team chemistry, and also for you as an individual player?
Well, to start off, we went from having my junior year probably like 40 guys, maybe like 40 or so guys on the team, to like having maybe 20, 25 guys my senior year. And all in all, it was a fight or flight situation. You either manned up, took care of your business, took care of your situation where you at, made the best of it, or you got out. It was that simple, and that's still instilled in me to this day, man. You gotta go in and you assess the situation. Okay, is it the ideal situation you want to be in? Yes or no? All right. If no, you make the best of it. All right. If not, you make do with what you got to do. You step away. All right. And you seek another avenue. But if you're going to be there and you're going to be there and you got nowhere else to go, you make the best of what you got. And that's what we did, collectively as a group.
Gotcha. Now your season is over, your senior season. Now it's time for recruiting. Give us some feedback on your recruiting process. What teams was looking at you, and what team were you hoping to go to?
Well, this is where it gets funny, okay? And if any kid is looking to be recruited or looking to, play at the next level, I would say be proactive about your career. Be proactive in what you're doing. Understand the nature of the beast, all right? Get a hold of your film, do what you got to do, all right? You may not have the best coaches all the time. A lot of kids, grow up, they say, all right, my high school coach, did this for me, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a greater majority of kids whose high school coaches didn't, do much for them. And I'm of the latter group. And granted, my junior year, we had like a couple letters, float past our nose, right? And our coach is pretty much like, here you go, here's a letter. With no type of knowledge on what to do with this, on how to fill them out properly or whatever. All we did was put our name, blah, 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 and you know, not necessarily knowing if there are key points or stuff that I probably should or shouldn't put down on that recruiting, you know, info piece. And, you know, that probably could have made or break me. I don't know. But as far as people that were, or I'm sorry, as far as schools that were looking at me, it were just basically a lot of Division III schools. And I knew I wanted to play at a higher level than that. You know, you had schools like Augustana, Illinois Benedictine. You know, not saying that those were bad schools or anything like that, but I wanted to take my talent, you know, ability to, you know, a higher level, because I knew I had room to grow, and I knew I was better than just playing at Division III school. Academically, I was able to get in Purdue, but I couldn't go because of money, of course. So what ended up happening with me was one of our assistant coaches, who, by the name of Joe Krupa, he's a Purdue grad, played with the Steelers, you know, back in the day. He is a friend of the college coach that I ended up going down to play at, Bob Spoof, who's also a Purdue grad. Put in a word for me. He called down there and said, "Hey Joe," he's like, "Hey Bob, I got a kid up here. He wants to play ball. Could you give him a shot to walk on?" And that's basically how I got to Eastern Illinois University. You know, because like I said, I got accepted into Purdue. I couldn't go because of money and everything like that, and you know, ended up making do with what I had to go do. I wanted to play higher level, but I mean Division I AA, I was like, okay, I can't get mad at this. This is still Division I ball. I'll have my crack at those bigger division school guys, you know, and I'm not playing D3 ball. So let's go do it.
So how did you feel walking on to Eastern Illinois? Like when it officially happened for you to where you was gonna walk on, what was your thoughts about that?
Well, I knew I had work to do simply because I wasn't on scholarship. You know, I was a kid that's coming down, you know, that's actually walking on, and I had to earn my money, so to speak. You know, I was coming down with the regular Pell Grants and, you know, loans or whatever like a normal college student would, but now I'm in a position where I can have all my schooling paid for. So I'm having to do, you know, what these other kids that were coming in on scholarship probably weren't thinking about doing, because I'm thinking like, okay, I got to put my best foot forward. I have to, you know, go above and beyond what they're doing because they got their schooling paid for. So my first year, I actually ended up traveling, you know, with the team and stuff like that, going on trips and stuff like that, and actually stepping on the field my freshman year. And, you know, whether I was too hasty in doing that, you know, remains to be seen, but, you know, the following year, my sophomore year, I ended up getting a partial, and then come my junior year, I was a full ride student athlete.
What is the transition being a walk-on? Are you treated differently by the coaches? Are you treated differently by the players that know you're a walk-on? And then what steps did you take to get that full ride?
Well, as far as you being treated differently, you come in as a walk-on, and it's really predicated on you and your experience. Now, if you come in, you know, in your attitude, I should say, because I mean, you come in with no number, basically, a lot of times. Because I was off in a little separate part of the locker room because we didn't have a number to give me just yet, and you know, but I came in and I was like, man, look, I'm going to get this. You know, wherever, you know, wherever you slot me at, I'm going to move up. You know, the next couple of days, you know, on the depth chart. You're going to have to look at me. I'm going to force you to look at me. That has to be your attitude as a walk-on. You know, learn the defense. Don't be lazy about that. Or learn your offense, learn your playbook, and basically go out and compete. You know, make plays. That's what you're there to do. And if you're looking better or looking as good as one of the veterans, then hey, they have to, you know, forcefully assess you and be like, hey, look, we can't sit this kid down. He's actually got some value. So that was my attitude coming in as a walk-on. I didn't want to sit around and just hope for the best, you know, and just leave it up to, you know, the stars or whatever. I was, you know, going to make something good happen here.